What if I told you that in 1950, the US Navy released bacteria all over San Francisco and potentially killed a US citizen? Well, it's actually a true story, and it's called Operation Sea Spray. Long story short, World War II just recently ended, and the US Navy wanted to test how biological weapons would act in a big city. So naturally, the only way to figure that out is to release one yourself in order to see how it acts. Now granted, the two types of bacteria that they did release, they believed to be harmless, and that's why they released them, and one of them was called Serratia marcescens, and I want you guys to try to remember that for later on. The experiment itself was a great success for the Navy, and they detected bacteria as far as 23 miles from the release point. And they also estimated that the 800,000 residents of San Francisco at the time each inhaled around 5,000 particles, which, I mean, it doesn't sound great obviously, but for the military, it was great data. And then, shortly after, something very interesting happened. 11 patients at the Stanford Hospital, which was in San Francisco, all became infected with a specific bacteria that had not been seen in medical literature for about 5 years. This was Serratia marcescens, the previously mentioned bacteria that the US Navy had released a few weeks prior. And unfortunately, one of the patients, Edward Nevin, passed away because of this infection. Now, interestingly enough, 25 years later, when Edward Nevin's grandson, Edward Nevin III, found out about this, he decided to sue the US military. And so they took it to court, and naturally, the US military won. Surprisingly, the court decided that there was not enough conclusive evidence to tie the two together. Which, I mean, sure, I guess. Sure. So, unfortunately for Edward Nevin's family, they never got the justice that they believed they deserved. And the US military did get a few complaints about how secretive they were about experiments, especially when they involved US citizens. But other than that, court rulings primarily went their way. Which, I mean, I personally find a little crazy. I feel like if you were to think about it a little bit, I could see, that maybe it might have been the military's experiment that released the exact same bacteria that the, patients got. But then again, it did happen 75 years ago, so I guess that we will never find out. Oh, also, I just made a more in-depth video about this on my YouTube channel, so if that sounds interesting, then you can go check that out.